Hi all, I want to look at Kasparov's performance in the first Tilburg tournament, where he dominated the field and came first, sole first. In his first game in the tournament he played Jeroen Piket. So he was playing white, he played e4, Piket responded with the Sicilian defence. And now after knight f3, d6, d4, c takes d4, knight takes d4, Piket steered towards the dragon variation by playing g6 now. After bishop e3, bishop g7, Kasparov was very well prepared theoretically and went in for the main line variation where white goes for a kind of hack attack. But he injected the move bishop c4 here, and after bishop d7 an early h4, so he's not castling queenside yet. After knight e5, bishop b3, black is following a standard plan to exploit this outpost on the semi-open file. So rook c8 castles queenside. So knight c4, black gets rid of white's dangerous bishop on b3, and white continues with this aggressive attack, ripping open the h file. After knight takes h5, g4, this is quite a scary position for black, but there's tons of theory in the dragon. After bishop h6, Piket played very sharply with knight takes e4. So he's uncovering an attack on d4 and threatening the white queen. Kasparov moved his queen, simply giving up that pawn, because now if the knight, for example, retreated back, then white's attack would be crushing. Let's have a quick look at this. Bishop takes, king takes, check, king h8, and now my analytical assistant gives knight e4 with a huge advantage for white. It's actually a forced mate in 7, believe it or not, because once this defensive piece is lured away, that's it. Okay, so after queen e3 we have a highly tense situation. Black sacrificed the exchange, which is kind of thematic in the dragon. After bc, knight f6, white now played bishop takes g7, and after king takes g7, he didn't actually play queen h6 check here. Actually he played rook h2. So let's have a quick look. Why didn't he play queen h6 check? Let's see, king g8. And how does white continue the attack without this knight which has just gone on c3? How can that be lured away, this knight on f6? So this is tricky. Also, black might be threatening queen a5 soon, targeting this head of the doubled pawns and this isolated pawn. Let's see, g5, knight h5 would be sufficient. For example, rook takes h5, takes, queen takes h5, and now black may be able to defend with queen a5 quite resourcefully. Black in this current position would be 2 pawns up, so if white's attack is only revolving around h7, let's say rook h1, then black can here play bishop f5 with that queen protecting the bishop. So after knight takes, queen takes, black would be clearly better. So perhaps this explains why the immediate queen h6 check was not chosen, but instead rook h2. And after rook h8, Kasparov now played knight b3. So he stops any queen a5s by keeping an eye on that square. After bishop c6, he now played g5, inviting the black knight to come to h5, because he has another attacking plan in mind, namely f4, f5 and f6 at some point. So this is another dangerous plan, not using the h file, but rather another idea completely, just using the fact that this knight means that black won't be able to play g takes f5. After rook e8 he played f5 now, so we start to see some emerging ideas of f6 check. Queen b6 now was played, and after knight d4 Piket played queen c5. Here White now played rook e1. So it's potentially increasing the pressure on e7. Once the white queen moves away, maybe rook takes e7 will be on in some variations, with the idea of f6 check. After bishop d7, white did play queen f3, so we might have now the threat of rook takes e7 emerging. So it's one plan followed by another, this f pawn moving up, and now this pressure on the e file. After bishop c6, we have a repeat of position, and now on this bishop c6, Kasparov broke the repetition by playing queen f2. At the moment, we have roughly equal material, but white has better chances here, which Kasparov proved. After king g8, he played rook e3, supporting that c3 pawn. Let's have a quick look if Piket had just played queen takes c3. Rook takes e7 would have given white a slight advantage according to my analytical assistant, e.g. check, takes, f6, fe, knight c6 and queen d4. So white has a little initiative here and maybe getting a slight advantage after this powerful centralising queen e4 in this line. There are many variations there, but that's one potential one. So Piket just played king g8, and after rook e3, bishop d5, and now Kasparov 2 pawns down sacrifices the exchange. So he has no exchange up compensation, but he has got now a strong attack on the h file, which is more difficult to defend now. After queen c4, he played queen takes h5, so there's immediate threat of rook h3. Piket checked, and after king b2 played e5. And now white is clearly better after this. Kasparov simply played queen h6. This e-pawn's pinned at the moment. Piket played king h8, and after g6, white's attack is now crushing. In fact, after fg, mate in 1 is threatened. Piket defended, but rook f3. So this is a beautiful move. If bishop takes f3, then queen f8 mate. So, after queen c4, queen f8 check, Piket actually resigned here, because if he had, say, done bishop g8, then just queen takes e7, threatening g7 mate, and this check would have been harmless, e.g. king just to c1, and the checks run out. So a crushing Sicilian dragon game. Let's have a quick look in overview and summary. Sharp Sicilian dragon. So white playing the main line kind of system. But after h5, surprising set of tactics occurred. White allowed knight takes e4 to play queen e3. Black sacrificed the exchange to rob white of this potentially important attacking piece to decoy a knight on f6. Kasparov, though, cleverly changed the emphasis of his attack completely. He actually built his plan around the knight on h5 to get in f4, f5 and potentially f6 check once the e file was under pressure. So he avoided this repetition, and after rook e3, a third change of plan using the h file for the attack with rook takes h5. So this is very, very difficult for black to parry. This knight on d4 played a very pivotal role here to stop any queen b5 check, and this gave Kasparov the chance to get in queen h6 followed by g6 now, and black was defenceless against this. So a crushing attack and the very first victory for Kasparov in this Tilburg 1989 tournament. I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for listening. See you on YouTube.